I thought long and hard about making this video, because I wanted there to be some kind of nuance to it. I didn't want to just fire up a camera and say, "Hey, look what happened to me! Look at this and that," and then just offer like a 2 or 3 minute cookie cutter commentary that won't stand the test of time. I slept on it for a couple of days, and I said when I'm ready to talk about it, I will. Not because I'm afraid or anything, because I'm not. It's about the what it is that I'm trying to illustrate, or what it is that I'm trying to prove here, or show, whether it's a message of some kind, a moral, a lesson that will stand the test of time for men, especially for men. Men, if you're watching this, you are being targeted today in various facets of media, whether it's the movie industry, which devalues your importance for the sake of propping a woman Mary Sue character, whether it's the music with women singing or rapping about how much they don't need a man, or in the comic book industry, where comic books are basically devaluing men for the sake of masculine looking women. Uh, the comic industry in particular has a special addendum to that, in which they actually go out and kill male creators, um, if they're suspected of anything without evidence or without a judge, jury, and verdict. Well, I'm learning that the rabbit hole in the comic industry just goes deeper than people think. It's not even pros that are scumbags. You're talking about just mid to low level tier creators who are in lockstep in deep with these people. Now, I got a DM a couple days ago from this account, and I searched her up, and it's definitely her because she said as such on her own timeline on Twitter, and even named herself. So I'm not doxing her because she already put herself out there on Twitter, and she has a link tree that she linked with all her information. So, but I got this DM from her, and all she said was "creep." I immediately knew what this was referencing to, and I already knew without even searching her up. I already knew she was talking about my videos about Ed Piskor, and I already knew that she had a problem with me talking about it because these women do that. You're hurting their narrative when you talk about people that they cancel or people that they targeted Alinsky style, because it robs them of the power to manipulate you. It robs them of the power to gain from this industry, because on their own merits, they can't do that. They can't succeed on their own merits. And I already found this person's account. Again, this person linked their link tree. So I already know their social media. And she did put her real name on her Twitter, and her link tree does link to her social media. So I'm not doxing her because her information is not private; it's public, it's out there. Nor am I doing this for the sake of targeting. So please do not contact this person. Do not harass her. I do not condone that at all, and I absolutely am against that. I'm only doing this for the sake of documentation. Why am I documenting this? Well, I want you men to get into the habit of going forward, documenting any and all of your encounters and contacts with women. Because as much information as you have, the less power they'll have to destroy you. Oh, and by the way, after she sent me this DM, she immediately blocked me. So she was very petty. Sent me this note and then blocked me because that's how petty these people are. But when I went to search for her stuff, just so I know who I was dealing with, I came across another account that said some very said the usual talking points regarding Ed Piskor. And I shouldn't be surprised that they spout the usual male feminist talking point. And women, any women that are watching this, you should know by now, male feminists are the scum of the earth. Let me say it again. Male feminists are the scum of the earth. Not because they believe in women's rights, it's because they weaponize women's rights. They use it as a tool to get you in their pants. That's why a lot of these male feminists in the industry get outed as sex pests or worse, because to them, in their mind, if they champion women's rights, they're championing what's between your, well, let me give it clean. They're championing what's inside your pants. And they think it's an easy access to you physically and sexually. And then when they don't get their way, then they become violent and you know, as we've seen, you know, they just become very um aggressive. Don't trust a male feminist. But in digging into this little trail here, I found a post by Joe Glass in which he says, "What Ed Piskor has done is tragic, awful, and so very sad. My thoughts are with his family and friends." Well, I read it the other way, but anyway, it does not mean victims should be blamed for coming forward. To do so is the very reason they often don't come forward right away. Well, you know what? I personally want to make it hard for women to come forward and lie about men and lie about the things that some men have done to them. I do want to make it harder for women to slander men. I want to say very clear. I definitely want an environment that makes it hard for women or harder for women to come forward and slander men. So yeah, I have no bones about that. I will be doing that going forward. Any woman who is in the pro Ed Piskor self-deletion camp, who champions slandering, who champions the Me Too movement, who champions destroying a man's reputation on accusations, and who doesn't see how evil this situation is. Any of you women who come forward to me and send me creepy DMs like this woman did, I will out you. I will put you out there. I don't want to be DM'd by you. I don't want you messaging me. I don't want you contacting me. Do not contact me. Do not message me. If you disagree with me, so that's fine. You could disagree with me, but stay in your lane. I'm not coming into your lane. I will expose you, but I'm not coming into your lane. Please don't come into mine. So I have nothing to do with you. Do not contact me. Keep your creepy, ill-advised messages to yourselves amongst your little circle of buddies. Do not contact me at all. Yeah, I really had to think about if I was going to say anything and mention anything about this person. And I said, you know what? I'm going to use this as an abject lesson and an example to the men out there who are very impressionable. And this is the way going forward. You must document these interactions, because you say one thing and they'll clip it, put it out there, and destroy and ruin you. Don't trust these women online, especially if you're creative. You're a creative. My goodness, protect yourself. Protect yourself and don't put yourself in that position of entrapment. It is important, if you're a creator, especially if you're making good quality stories, to not put yourself in the line of fire. We need more people in the comic community, not the industry, not the industry. The comic book industry has to die. The people that are in that industry, whether it's the Mark Wade's, the Alex DeCamp. Oh, by the way, and I probably may do a video on my thoughts of Mark Wade accusing Comicsgate of being the entity that drove Piskor to self-delete. No, Mark Wade, your friends did that. The ones that Ed Piskor named on his letter: Alex DeCampi, Ramon Villalobos, Molly Wright. Your buddies, your friends are the ones that drove him. It shows you how disgusting Mark Wade is, that he would weaponize Piskor's tragedy to cover for his friends, the friends that Piskor named as the people that bullied him to death. But anyway, no, the comic book industry must die out. It must die out. The people in that industry must be put out of work and put out into the real world, where they have to work real jobs, where they don't have to manipulate their way to the top. And I'm being very clean when I say manipulate. But the comic book community of creatives, independent creatives who are producing quality work, who are producing work from their heart, I want them to succeed. Because if they succeed, that's only encouraging for other creators to come out and work for themselves and just learn, basic, simple business skills to succeed. And it's always good to get advice from business-minded people so you can learn how to make money, produce, and be consistent. And do not use your craft to attract women. Don't use your craft as a means to attract women or as a reason to attract women. Here's a tweet from a gentleman in particular. He says, he's quoting something. He says, "Focus on your purpose, the woman will come." He follows up with saying, "Bullshit. I remember focusing on my purpose and not the women, and guess what? The women didn't focus on me either. Stop telling dudes that." And then I guess the conversation evolved into the age of a man, how that makes a difference. And this person says, "Focusing on your purpose is focusing on your purpose. What does age have to do with it?" To which I replied, Age has plenty to do with it. You accomplish more as you get older, plus wisdom grows as you get older. And a quality woman is attracted to a man with wisdom. 20-year-old men are kids to women, but a 40-year-old can draw a woman with his wisdom. And I quote tweeted and I said, focusing on your purpose for the sake of attracting a woman usually doesn't work, mainly because women see right through it. Focusing on your purpose in spite of a woman is what works. That indeed does work. And I can tell you for a fact that does work. I know for a fact that does work because if you're a man who is confident in yourself and you lead with discipline, and that means not leading with your dick. Don't lead with your head. Lead with your head and stop listening to the fresh and fits of the world. It's funny because down here I did a reply to a tweet by Ali Sanguis, who's the creator of the Egg Beater comic, which is currently in production. She says, overall, I think the Manosphere podcasts are ludicrous. The fresh guy getting one of his sleepers pregnant and then urging her to get a deletion for the infant should teach all the men. I guess I self-censored because not because I'm monetized, because I'm not monetized, but I don't want YouTube to suppress the video either. So, but it should teach all the men who listen to these guys are full of shit. I replied and said, it isn't all of them. Kevin Samuels actually distanced himself from the Fresh and Fit crew. He actually did because there was a stream by Donovan Sharp who attested to this, that Donovan Sharp and Kevin Samuels were friends, but there was a rift towards the end, and the rift had to do with the fact that Kevin Samuels insisted that Donovan Sharp and the rest of them separate from the Fresh and Fit part of the Manosphere. Probably for this reason alone, probably because they were using the red pill to just go out there and build a body count of women they slept with as a means to puff themselves up and flex themselves. But I said, this is indeed clown world, and though I hope more men see that the true goal of the red pill should be marrying, having children, and raising a family in that order. A lot of what will keep you from getting in trouble with women and attracting the wrong kind of woman, especially the toxic variety, like the one that DM'd me, is disciplining yourself for your purpose in community, your purpose in life, and ultimately what your goal is as far as family. Having a wife and children. Now, me myself personally, my life personally, I have a son, I have stepchildren from my marriage to my dearly departed Stephanie, who passed away a year and a half ago. But you wouldn't know it about my current life because I practically live a very quiet life. But attracting a woman is not a problem for me. And my goal is the same. My goal is if I get married, if I attract a woman, I want to get married and live a quiet, simple life. I don't need to be stacking up a body count. I don't need to be stashing a collection of women that can any moment me with false allegations or accusations. No, just keep it simple. And yeah, wisdom. For a lot of women, wisdom is sexy because it shows you can lead, it shows you can guide, it shows you can advise, and it shows the patience, the quality of a man with patience, which is considered sexy for women. So definitely consider these points and understand that this alone will weaponize your ability to vet these women and to know what kind of women to avoid. And a lot of the women in the comic book industry are the kind of women that are toxic, poisonous, and maybe for recreational use only, as they say. So yeah, consider what I'm saying. Just avoid these women and do not interact with them. Do not engage with them. And if they attempt to contact you, document. That way, they stop contacting you and they have nothing to use against you. And I have no problem putting your information out there. So do not contact me. I don't wish to deal with you. You women in the comic industry, whether it's in the mainstream industry or in the low tier industry that rides lock, Devon step with them.